We are on a cast trip, and I have to say, I usually love the Real Housewives of New York cast trips, but this one is falling a little too flat for me. But I do have some good things to say, so don't turn me off. Don't turn me off. I do have some good things to say. But as someone that's a New Yorker, as someone that loves the Real Housewives of New York as a series, I am not sure how I'm feeling about this vacation so far. But we will go through it. We will walk through it together. And maybe by the end of our recap, we will be in a better place. We'll be in a better place. Guys, if you're just joining us and you're in the live chat or you're part of the Later On crew, be sure to let us know how you would rate the latest episode of The Real Housewives of New York. I don't believe we're going to get a long season. I believe they're already asking for the questions for the Real Housewives of New York reunion. So stay tuned for that. I'm excited to see what the reunion will be like. Be sure to check out our Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion finale recap. Those are always juicy. But let's get into a countdown. Let us know how you would rate this episode of The Real Housewives of New York in the live chat or Later On crew in the comment section. And let me know where you're watching from and what's the temperature over where you're watching from. We're having sort of like this really warm end of summer. Because we're not in fall yet. I want to take out my fall stuff. I mean, pumpkin spices, pumpkin, whatever. Let's get into a countdown, and then let's get into our Real Housewives of New York recap.
Baby, baby, won't you listen to me? I got that flavor. I know you're dying to feed. I ain't no dancer, just got some hip in my feet. Now throw your hands up. You bring the lighter, I got the fuse. You make a fire, I'll add the fuel. Follow my lead, just watch the shoes. Gotta turn the heat up to get this cool.
Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video. Be sure to subscribe. It's a subscribers only live chat, and turn on your notifications so you're never missing out on some of our stories. Yesterday, we had a mashup of some pop culture news stuff, including this really weird story about Ashton Kutcher and maybe the secrets, allegedly, that he might be hiding, and that's why he wrote a character letter for Danny Masterson. So be sure to check out that mashup of videos yesterday. We were talking about Lionel Richie too. Yeah, we had a good kiki about pop culture yesterday. And be sure to check out our Real Housewives of Atlanta recap from earlier today as well. And we had another really good kiki there. All right, so let's get into this Real Housewives of New York recap. First of all, Ubah, I'm so glad that Ubah is back, y'all. Ubah is back, and she is here to slay. From her bathing suit to her wisdom and to that WAP. Come on now. Because she comes out with these things, and now I understand why people are comparing Ubah to Chanel Ayan. Because, yes, they both have this unintentional, very funny side to them. Because at first when people were saying that, I was like, y'all just saying that because they're from the same place and because they're African. So I was like, let me wait and see. No, I can see why you guys love Ubah. I love Ubah too. I think Ubah is just so funny. But this episode for Ubah was Yoda. Come on now. Ubah was Yoda. She had so many moments where she just was so clear. She wasn't just being funny. She was coming for, helping Erin's side when it comes to Brynn and what she may have been doing at this anniversary party. We'll get there. But for me, Ubah was funny this episode, but also very wise this episode. So don't be coming for Ubah, because she's bringing a lot more than some of these other ladies. Just saying. But Ubah talks about, being from Africa. I think Brynn was like, I haven't been to Africa. She's like, oh, I have to take you. She said, we got to change the PR for Africa because, and I was thinking to myself, yes, when I was growing up, people had a very one-sided view of what Africa was. But with the way that social media is and people are traveling a lot more, but I guess people still probably have that view of Africa. It's just what you saw on those feed the children commercials. I mean, that's not the way that I view Africa. Maybe because, like I love to travel and I have not been to Africa yet, but I'm going to change that. Stay tuned. We have a community in Africa, South Africa specifically, but I know we have other parts of Africa too. Kenya, I know in some other parts of Africa too. If you're from Africa and you're in the live chat, or if you're in the comment section, let us know what part of Africa you're watching from, because we have a community in Africa. Come on now. Come on, community. Those meet and greets are about to be lit. But she says that we have to change the PR about Africa. She was like, if you think this, Anguilla is heaven, well, Africa is paradise. I said, say what? Okay, Ubah. All right. So this is where Ubah says to Sai, she says, how would you feel if Brynn did what she did to Abe if she did that to David? And Sai was like, I'm the wrong person to ask. I don't care, whatever. And I really believe that about Sai. But you could see that Ubah's trying to come in defense of Erin in this whole situation with Brynn flirting with Abe. Brynn decides to take this moment to apologize for calling her party boring. Not apologize for what she did at the anniversary party. She eventually does. But in that instance, she's like, Erin's confused. She's like, I'm confused. You're apologizing for calling my party boring, and it was. Based off the footage, Erin, I'm sorry. Based off the footage, it did seem kind of dry. No food? Come on. I mean, there was food. Okay, whatever. So she apologized. Brynn apologizes for saying that the party was boring, but she refuses to admit that she was flirting with Abe. And she's like, I've coined the phrase, I've trademarked Abe's a babe. Abe the babe. Okay, here's the thing. Brynn, you were flirting with Abe. Your intention may not have been to really sleep with him or take him away from his wife, but you were flirting. This is what flirting means by definition. You were flirting with this man. You've been doing that. And some of your girlfriends are okay with that. But I get why Erin may have been upset. You're talking about divorce. You're talking about flirting. You're flirting with him. He felt uncomfortable. And yes, he may have been smiling and laughing at the moment. But I know a lot of people in moments like that where it's awkward, they will just laugh. But later on be like, it really wasn't cool. Some might say now he's backtracking because he knows that Erin's going to see that he was laughing. It could be that too. Here I go twerking on a fence. But I'm just trying to give you both sides of the situation, y'all. I'm trying to give you both sides. Because I know there have been situations, sometimes when you guys call in and you're saying something off the wall, I'm just like, oh. And sometimes when you guys call in, I'm doing multiple things. You don't see what I'm doing behind the scenes. I'm trying to control certain things. I'm making sure that all the settings are correct. I'm making sure everyone can hear. And sometimes I might miss a beat. Sometimes I'm listening and I'm trying to hear what you're saying so I can engage. But at the same time, I'm trying to also make sure I'm catching everything as well. But that's just doing a live show. In real life, those things can happen too, where someone's saying something to you that you're like, you don't know what to say or to do. Because some of you will just react to be like, that is, and I don't know if that's necessarily the best way to do things either. So I'm going to give Abe the benefit of the doubt that he just was just like, this is Brynn. She always does this, but it was a little awkward that she's talking about divorcing my wife at our anniversary party. Did I think Brynn means harm? No, I really don't think that Brynn means harm. And I know some of you are mad at Brynn. You're like, oh, she's so over the top. She's always, I really believe this is Brynn. I don't believe that Brynn is putting on for us guys. I believe this is truly who Brynn is. Everything that we're getting from her. And I do believe that she's sensitive, and I also believe she likes to correlate things that just don't correlate, which we will get to. Ubah pointed that out as well. I love me some Ubah. And Ubah went to go meditate. I was like, ooh, Ubah is in her Yoda right now. You know, I meditate twice a day. Love it. Anyways, so Brynn says that she never flirted with someone's husband. Okay, Brynn. Here's the thing. I think Brynn is, again, correlating the situation, flirting with, you know, that whole situation, the word flirting, as a way, oh, I'm trying to take your husband. No, but you were definitely flirting with Abe. Just saying. And I think Erin was okay with it before, but she was triggered, maybe because she's filming a reality show and how it's going to show up on the show. I'm telling you, they're always talking about things that aren't necessarily what they can talk about on the show. They can't talk about the show. The show is another housewife that they're arguing over. All right. So Brynn then says she wants Erin to apologize to her. But Sai is over it. Sai and that worm in the belly. She's like, I'm just ready to eat. Can we order? And the guy's trying to take orders. And Erin's like, no, I don't want to move on. We need to have a conversation about this. And Sai's like, I just want to move on. You are not a producer, Sai, but I also get it. You want to eat. Okay. So, of course, they have to switch gears because, you know, last week they were coming for our girl. Jenna Lyons, Jenna effing Lyons. They were coming for her last week. And I have to say, I was a little uncomfortable because it feels like, and I said this to you guys as well, I'm not someone that opens up immediately to people. I have to be comfortable in order to share details. Because I've had people say to me like, oh, I don't feel like you share a lot, blah, 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 blah. Well, I have to get comfortable, and I don't feel like I need to tell you my life story. You know, there are those people too. You meet them for the first time and they're telling you their life story, and you're like, I just met you. I don't think I should know all these details. So Brynn specifically are saying to Jenna, well, I just feel like, yes, I love the gifts, even though she shaded her about the gifts last week. Remember that, Brynn? All of them were shading her, including Sai. We love the gifts. Don't stop the gifts. But I just feel like you're not opening up to us. You're opening up to this young lady at your audition. And when I cried, you didn't tell me that your real name was Jenna. Shout out to the editors. Because I was wondering when they segued to this alternate universe, I was like, how are they going to do this? How are they? And they did a great job. Shout out to the editors. Shout out to the editors. The way that they gave us this alternate universe where Brynn is breaking down at the Thanksgiving dinner, at the Brynnsgiving, and they she's breaking down, and then they add the audio of Jenna talking about, well, you know, my name is, I got it from my brother calling me da-da-da-da-da. I was like, this is perfect editing. The way they deserve an Emmy for the way that they edited that in. I was like, this is good. This is good. All right. But they gaslight Jenna in this moment. To the point where Jenna breaks down. Jenna effing Lyons breaks down. And Erin's just like, are you okay? You're going to make me cry. I feel like that's manipulative too. Okay, what if I make you cry? I'm about to cry here because you guys are pressuring me to open up. And she eventually does open up, but you guys forced her to. And I think Jenna would open up once she gets to know you guys, when she starts to trust you guys. And I know what you're thinking. You're filming a reality show. You need to open up. Okay, well, some people can't do that. Shout out to Sai. I love the fact that, I know a lot of people find Sai annoying, but I give Sai credit. She's opened up so much since being on this show. She's opened up a lot. But at the same time, I'm not going to fault Jenna Lyons for not opening up as much. Not everyone is the same. We are uniquely different. So she opens up, and I'm thinking, we already knew her mother had Asperger's. She said she grew up in a house that was very silent. Anyone else think to yourself, okay, wait, sidebar. When she said silence, because, growing up in a big city like New York, there's a lot of noise. So when she says there was nothing but silence in the house, I said, oh, that sounds like a dream. That sounds like a dream. That sounds like an effing dream. Come on, hold on. Where's my, hold on. I need my, here we go. Even this you probably didn't hear in the house. When I was in the country, when I was down south, it was louder than this. Nature was loud. But it was also very quiet when it comes to people. I was like, I'd like to be busy and things, but when she said her home was silent, but here's the thing. It was like forced silence. Her mom had Asperger's, so her mom had just flat affect. So her mother never had a reaction to anything. At the time, she didn't know her mother had Asperger's. And then her mother was also a piano teacher. So she's having these lessons in the home. So it's not like they can make any noise. That's her job. So they can't play. They can't watch television when these things are happening. So they broke Jenna open, and they broke her open to the point where she's like about to cry. About to cry. I don't know about you guys, but it felt, I don't want to say bullying because that word is thrown around, but it felt bullying-esque. Anyone else? It felt bullying-esque for me. It was uncomfortable because she was not ready to open up, and you're trying to force her to open up. In my opinion. Well, then Jenna's she tries to turn everything. She turns things around, and she's like, "Well, what about Jessel? Y'all don't know anything about Jessel." And this is when we get this really weird story from Jessel, which I was trying to pick out the truth from what Jessel was saying, that her family's from Africa. You know, they're originally from India, but they moved to Africa. Both her parents were born in Kenya, and they ended up moving to London. She was born in London, and then her uncle was a photographer in Paris. And the entire group is just like, wait, what? I couldn't keep up. Somewhere in there, her roots are from India, but her direct roots are in Africa. And there is a community of Indian people in Africa. I remember, where was I? Someone told me about this. There are certain parts of Africa that have a lot of Indian people. And probably when we were watching the Real Housewives of Johannesburg, I think that's when we had that conversation. You guys will remind me in the live chat and in the comment section. It's so interesting. Like in Jamaica, I have Chinese roots as well. Like if you look at my grandmother, you're like, oh, your grandmother's Chinese? Well, there's Chinese people in Jamaica. There's Indian people in the Caribbean too. Shout out to Family Karma. I'm just thinking because, you know, we also had some folks from Guyana on Family Karma. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, bring back Family Karma. Go tag Bravo TV on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and let them know you want Family Karma to come back. We want them to come back. All right. Moving on. So Jessel gives us this story, and we're all like, what is going on? What? I couldn't keep up. I would have to rewatch it. And even if I rewatch it, I don't know if I could keep up. The most I got, her parents were born in Kenya, and she was born in London. The group was confused, so I'm okay with that. All right. Ubah. So we had this little moment in the van going back to the villa, and Ubah says that she told TSA, you know, because they always ask you, do you have any liquids? She's like, I got this WAP. I wonder if she really said that to them. But this leads to a conversation with Erin. She was, because Jenna effing Lyons, she was like, yes, I know what WAP is. Of course she does. Jenna effing Lyons knows what WAP is. All right, but this one doesn't. Erin does not know what WAP is. She's like, I'm the youngest of the group, and I don't know what that is. It doesn't make sense. I don't like the terminology. And I think Jessel was the one to say that, well, she listens to ABBA. So she's not listening to Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, who have a new song out. They don't need me to promote it, but I'm just saying. I just found Ubah to be just so I didn't expect that little scene. I was like, what? What? You said what at the airport? And then it leads to this whole conversation about WAP. Erin doesn't know what WAP is. It is what it is. All right. So Jessel and Ubah are sharing a room together. And this is where I said there's so many moments with Ubah that has clarity and wisdom. Because she points out what we've been saying about Brynn, her correlations of like, well, you did this and I did this. And she tries to relate them and they don't make sense. I'm just like, that's not the same thing. We literally had that with the whole Jenna situation with her. I was just like, it's not the same thing. We've talked about this other times with Brynn. But Brynn just makes me laugh because she'll say something that I disagree with. And I'm like, Brynn, no. Or Brynn, you're wrong. And then she'll say something and I'm just like, Brynn, I love you. Damn it, Brynn. Damn it. Like when she was talking about Abe, I forgot what she said in her confessional. And she was just like, she's still flirting with Abe. I can't with her. She's a mess. I love her though. Kind of like she does remind me of Sonia. And I know you guys were like, oh, she's trying to be like Sonia. She's too much. You do realize that Sonia is not the only person that acts like this, right? I'm just saying. Anyways. Guys, if you're just joining us, be sure to like this video. Be sure to share this live if you haven't already. And be sure to subscribe because it is a subscribers only live chat. Shout out to our subscribers. Shout out to our channel members. To become a member of the channel, head on over to TheKempire.com/join. There's a lot of really cool perks that come with membership, but also surprise perks that come all the time, including when I'm traveling. So you can only imagine what perks you will be getting when I'm at BravoCon. So stay tuned for that, guys. Become a member at TheKempire.com/join. And our proud sponsor is back. Coldest is back. Hold on. Boop. Doop. Get your coldest water bottle at coldest.com, but don't forget to use the discount code Kempire10. It's a different discount code, Kempire10, for 10% off of your order. It's another way that you can support your thirst and also support the channel. Another way to support the channel is by getting some Kempire merch. Head on over to houseofkempire.com for more details. All right, commercial break over. Back to this. Oh, and of course, don't forget to say hello and thank you to our King's Guards that are always here. I have to say, I have the best moderators on the internet, both on TikTok, both on YouTube. We appreciate our moderators because I have to say, if you've been here a long time, we've had different moderators in the beginning, and it was like moderators drama, and there might be still some drama. They don't bring it to me though. They figure it out themselves. They hold me down in the live chat. If I'm going live 3 or 4 times a day or whatever time during the week, our moderators are here holding us down, working together. When someone can't do something, they're working together, having a good time, creating good energy. So shout out to our King's Guards. I could not do this without them. All right. So moving on from the WAP. The ladies start comparing ladies in the chat and in the later on crew. Is that true that you're supposed to match your lipstick to your nipples? I've never heard that before, obviously, because I don't wear lipstick. But I was like, that's interesting. That was interesting. Okay, let's talk about this conversation because Sai opens up about her mom. I'm going to tell you this. We watched this together last night on TikTok. And you guys couldn't see me, but I definitely teared up when Sai opened up about her mother and her mother's alcoholism. And then when Sai said, whoo, oh, I didn't expect that. When Sai said that her mother had a heart attack on a bench here in New York City and she was by herself, I said, it's heartbreaking because you see so many people here in New York that are homeless and that might have like alcoholism. Look, oh, y'all got me crying. Sai, damn you. What does Tyra say? Breathe through it. Because you see these folks and you know that they have a story. We don't know their story. We simply look at them and like, oh, they's crazy, or there's a drug addict, or the addiction is real, y'all. And it's so important for people like Sai to talk about their family member that has this addiction and humanize them. She says when her mother was in a coma in the hospital, she literally she FaceTime everyone and she says, everyone say something funny or nice. And she wanted to remind everyone that my mom was a good person. We're all good people, no matter what you want to say about someone. We are all at our root good people. Okay, some of us. Most of us. So just think about that the next time you see a homeless person on the street. I'm not saying you need to give them money. I'm not saying, just be kind. You don't have to be like mean or hateful to them. Just think that they too have a story. They too have a daughter, a son, a sister, a brother, a mother, children. All right. So Sai opens up about her mother's alcoholism, and this is again, just when you thought you knew everything about Sai, we open up another layer. She's been very transparent. This is only episode 8. I feel like we've learned so much more about Sai, but I'm not taking this away from the other ladies. There's all new ladies that we have to get to know. And the only way we're going to get to know them is throughout these episodes. I also don't believe that we're going to get to know them in just one season. We were learning new things about Sonia Morgan just a couple of seasons ago. Like, oh, I didn't know that about you. I can't remember what it was, but it was like, oh, that's different. Because we all have stories, things that naturally just come up, which I need them just to allow Jenna that space. So Jessel talks about that. And she also talks about how she has her ashes in a shopping bag. And Jessel was like, I hope it's not like a Target or Walmart bag. Well, if that was her favorite place to shop, why not? Don't be judgy. But I'm sure with Sai, it probably is a very high-end shopping bag that she has her in. Maybe a Harrods bag. Those Harrods bags, not the ones that you get when you buy something, but the ones that you can buy that you can reuse. Oh, those are fabulous. I bought a couple of those in the airport when I went to London. Not for myself, for like family. I was like, here you go. These are nice. I know. I still have one of my Harrods bags from. I didn't buy anything from Harrods. I just bought the bag. No, I did buy some things from Harrods, like the teas and things and whatnot. Anyways, what did we get about? I want to go back to London. I love London. Shout out to London. Shout out to our London folks. We see you guys. We had a nice, our first and only so far. Sorry. First and only meetup was in London. We international, baby. Come on now. Yes. All right. Enough of that. All right. Okay, Erin and Brynn. So they're on the beach. The ladies go on the beach. They're having a good time. They're talking. They're hanging out. Erin and Brynn are in a better place. They're showing their vajayjays to the sun. Brynn gives us this whole yoga theory on your area and all this stuff. They want to get Jessel drunk so that she can have sex with her husband, Pavitt. I mean, I want them to be transparent. Like, I wanted Jessel to open up about what's going on in her life. But I feel like the ladies, again, it's becoming this sort of like pressure on. That's their marriage. I get it. You want her to have sex. I get it. It would not work for you. And I know some of you think that Pavitt is going to Vietnam for another family. I don't know about any of that. But there are people that are in relationships that do go through what Jessel's going through. Where's David? Where's Sai's husband when you need him? Because he's the only one that really can see Jessel's side. But I mean, I can see it too. Especially when he breaks it down. It's like she's got twins. She went through all of this hormonal treatment. Give her some space and time. And I know sometimes you do need a little bit of push, but she doesn't need a push from you guys. She doesn't. Then they end up doing a photo shoot. Of course. And look, people were slamming the show. Oh, it's a bunch of influencers. There's only one influencer on the show. I mean, and not counting Jenna. Okay. Jenna's a boss, Anyways, so they decided to do a photo shoot. The photo shoot was The best part was when Ubah was like, line up, girls, take off your tops, and then look back. That to me was like the best photo. That was the best photo. And I'm sure Jenna's really probably good at doing stuff like this because as being the president of J. Crew, she's probably had to oversee plenty of photo shoots and look at different things and be like, this works, this doesn't work. She's seen a lot of modeling over the years. All right. Where am I in regards to this? Okay. All right. So they had their little photo shoot. All right. So this is where it gets weird. Erin, like I'm trying to ride with Erin. But here's the thing, Erin. When Brynn talks about freezing her eggs, she hasn't froze her eggs. I believe Ubah said that she has frozen her eggs. And Brynn opens up how she like when she did go to do the freezing of her eggs, they were like, well, embryos are better. And, go through your phone. Who do you have that could possibly, be a sperm donor for you so you can create these embryos? And Erin whispers over to Ubah, that sounds like too much. That doesn't sound real. That sounds like a story. That sounds like a lie. And then she says it to Brynn. And Brynn was like, what? And immediately I'm thinking to myself, well, here's the thing, Erin. First of all, I don't know if you yourself have ever done it. Second of all, when we were on TikTok Live, someone else that was in the chat that has been through this, she's like, he literally went through that experience that Brynn went through. The other part, before I even saw that comment, I thought to myself, well, they are a business. Whoever brought her in there, they're going to make more money off of an embryo versus egg freezing, I'm sure. I don't know. You guys will confirm, but I'm pretty sure it's more expensive. So, of course, they're going to upsell depending on where you go. Some places don't do that because they're not in the business of doing that. But some places are, well, we make more money if you do an embryo. Scroll through your phone. Look, they're trying to make money. So immediately when Brynn said that, I was like, well, I wouldn't be surprised. And also depending on where she went to have this done. But I thought it was weird and awkward for Erin to say that. Erin immediately later on, when they were getting to the van, was apologetic. But Brynn decides at the end of the night she needs a break. I wonder, and here's the thing. I know people are assuming that she needs a break from Erin. She says it's not because of you. However, we don't know what else was going on during this trip that they haven't shown. We have to keep that in mind. There are these producers and editors. Well, apparently the producers don't have any control over edit. Okay, Eric Fuller. I don't know if I believe that. Then what's your job? So I believe you have a voice in the room. I don't believe it's just you. But so who knows what else was going on with Brynn and why she needed a break. And they're all allowed a break. Okay. So, but Brynn goes to Erin to let her know it's not about what happened earlier. She just needs a break. So they have a little bit of a banter and funny moment with each other. Okay. So by the end of this conversation with you guys, I'm still sort of like, I'm such a fan of RHONY. And I'm not one of those people that are like, oh my God, these new RHONY ladies, I can't stand it. The show is boring. And there's still people that feel like it's boring. And I'm not going to discount your opinion. That's your opinion. I don't feel like it's boring. I feel I like this refresh. I still am enjoying this refresh. This trip, I'm not really loving. And it may be because they're still finding their way. They're talking about a lot of heavy things. I don't know. But I'm not really having fun. Not like our RHONY trips are some of our best trips. We can count down the years of all different types of cast trips that we've had with them in Caribbean, the Berkshires. We always have a good time. This trip, I'm not really having a good time. Besides Ubah and Brynn sometimes. I got to be honest with you guys. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I can sit here and lie to you and be like, oh, no. And then you guys will be like, you're paid by Bravo. No, I'm not. Trust me. Just saying, come on now, run me a check. I'm honest with you guys. This trip is kind of falling flat for me. It's falling flat for me, but I'm not going to give up on the show after a flat trip. And look, they're still on the trip. It's a fabulous abode where they're staying. Guys, if you're just joining us, don't forget to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting the channel. Also, let me know how you would rate this episode from 1 to 10. I thought it was a solid episode, but like I said before, the fun trip part is missing for me. However, Sai opening up about her mother's alcoholism, Jenna Lyons opening about the way she grew up, and a couple of and the wisdom from Ubah and her WAP. Sorry, Ubah, you said it. Look, you said it. I'm just saying. Those moments saved the episode for me. So I would probably give it 7.5, 8. 7.5, 8. Maybe more so an 8 because of Ubah. Be sure to let me know how you would rate. Later on, crew, we haven't forgotten about you. Let us know where you're watching from, your thoughts on the episode of The Real Housewives of New York, how you would rate this episode, and have you gotten a coldest water bottle yet? They don't just have water bottles, guys. They have sheets. They have things for your pets. They have ice packs. I have a bunch of coldest products. Be sure to check that out. But don't forget to use the discount code Kempire10 for 10% off of your order. More information will be available in the live chat and also in the description. Thank you guys so much for being here. Shout out to our King's Guards. Shout out to our channel members. To become a member of the channel, head on over to TheKempire.com/join. And of course, thank you to our subscribers and those of you watching in the bushes. We see you. Don't forget to like the video. That's the least you could do if you're not going to subscribe. We're almost at 300,000 subscribers. Come on now. Yes, 300,000 subscribers. We're almost there. But liking the video, sharing the video, telling your friends to tell a friend about what we're creating here is another way of supporting the channel, and also by checking out our sponsors. Leave us a comment in the comment section. Thank you all for being here. Let's get out of here with some music. I will see you all in the next one. Bye, y'all. Go check out everything that you missed earlier today and over the weekend. All right, let's get out of here.